What's up, guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Today's video, we are going to be covering the different parts of a card. So there's a lot to go over with stuff like that. Also, we're going to talk about the 3 different kinds of decks in the game: your main deck, side deck, and extra deck, which are all very important to know and know about. So we're going to go into detail on those, and yeah, let's get into this. Okay, guys, so kicking this off, we're starting with the breakdown of a card. Starting at the top, will have the card name and the attribute of the card. As far as monsters go, there's 8 or 9 attributes. So depending on what type of card it is, it'll be the little circle on the top right corner. Right underneath that is the level. Monster cards have the level there. XYZ cards have the rank. And Link monsters won't have anything there as far as I know. So, then you have the artwork, the picture. Got a little cute dolphin alien thing for this one. Then, going down a little bit, you'll have the card ID and the circulation, which card ID is going to be your pack it came in, and circulation will be your edition. It's to say first edition. Text box on the bottom, it tells you what kind of creature it is, what kind of card or monster it is. Like it says right here, warrior effect, so it's an effect monster. And then there's a text box. The text box for every type of card except for normal monsters will tell you what the card does. For normal monsters, there's just going to be a flavor text in there. And then going down to the bottom of the card in the text box, it's going to say ATK, which is attack. And then it'll have its attack points, and DEF, which is its defense points, which we'll get into in a later video. But for right now, and then down below that, right on the bottom corner, is the year it's made and the creator of the card. So if you guys ever want to know who made it or what year it was. And also, right under the picture between the text box and the picture of the card, there is the card ID. The card ID is helpful for 2 reasons. One, it tells you what pack it was in. And if you have the DS Yu-Gi-Oh games or some of the Game Boy Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh games, there is a place to find out what packs are in the game, and the serial number on the bottom. There's a place to enter it in most of the games, and you can get the card in the game. You just have to make sure that the pack number is in that game, like the pack type. Alright, now we're going to break down spell and trap cards, so let's get into it. Okay, so spell cards are going to be this greenish teal, that's probably a sea green color card. And also underneath the card name, it's going to say spell card. And then for trap cards, right there, it'll say trap cards. Trap cards will be the pinkish magenta. I call it purple, but it's probably actually magenta colored cards. And it's just like the monster card I showed you before. The text box is going to have what the card does. And next to spell card and or trap card, it's going to have a little symbol. Each of the 6 possible symbols each have a different meaning. We'll get into that in a little bit here. So you really want to watch these symbols when you're building your deck, which we'll get into in a little bit here. Okay, so these 6 attributes you are going to see are going to be these 6 right here on the screen. The cross symbol is an equipped spell. The italicized cross is what we call it, is a field card. The lightning bolt is a quick play card. The flame is a ritual card to summon ritual monsters, like the hamburger monster or cheeseburger monster that I showed you in the previous video. And if you haven't seen it already, link in the description. The infinity symbol is a continuous card, which means it doesn't leave the field. It stays on the field until it is destroyed or the game ends. And then the counter card. Now the counter and continuous cards you should only, I believe, see on trap cards. If they are on some spell cards, I haven't seen them. but the counter card is definitely only on traps. There might be a continuous spell card here or there, but they're not often seen. So these 6 symbols, you need to keep an eye out when you are choosing and selecting spell and trap cards, because most of them will have one of these 6 symbols, and if they don't, it's just a normal spell or trap card. So now let's get on to the 3 decks, because this is the important part. The 3 types of decks you want to know and how to differentiate them and that. So the only part of this that is important is the main deck. It consists of 40 to 60 cards. The extra deck is up to 15 cards. The side deck is up to 15 cards. But you can play the game without an extra deck and without a side deck. Now, I circled the place the main deck goes here in red. It gets shuffled, 40 to 60 cards. If you're going to build a deck, I highly recommend 40 cards. Anything over that, there's a less chance of you getting the cards you need when you need them, so on and so forth. I'll get into that in great detail in a video about deck building later in the series. The extra deck is going to consist of XYZ monsters, your Link monsters, your Synchro monsters, and your Fusion monsters. They're all going to go in that extra deck space, which is circled in blue on your screen. And then the side deck that consists of 15 cards. I circled it in yellow here so you guys can see it. The side deck isn't that important unless you're going to play competitive or like you want to get really good at the game. If you're just going to play at your kitchen table or play with friends that don't really play competitively, the side deck isn't important. And there are decks, if you look back on the channel, there is some decks that you can make that don't need an extra deck either. So literally the only important part is the 40 to 60 card main deck. Yeah, side deck isn't all that important unless you want to play competitive like I said. Now the side deck can consist of any of the 10 types of cards in the game, but you can only use the side deck between game 1 and game 2. So after game 1's over, you're allowed to substitute cards from your side deck into your main or extra deck. But whatever cards you take out of your side deck, you have to put that many cards back in. So if you take 7 cards out, 7 cards have to go back in. You can also do this between game 2 and game 3, but at the end of that match, before you move on to your next opponent, you have to put all the cards back where they respectively belong before you put cards from your side deck and main deck and extra deck all together or whatever. So the main deck can consist of all the other types of cards: the normal monsters, effect monsters, pendulum monsters, spells, traps, ritual monsters. It's just the synchros, XYZs, and fusions. Synchros, XYZs, fusions. Link monsters that go into the extra deck. So we'll get into that in another video when I go over each type of monster card specifically and the different uses of them, because there's a lot to cover and we're already going, I believe, 10 minutes here. So guys, if you enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button. This way I know I'm doing a good job. And if you had any questions or anything that I'm missing, hit it down in the comment section. Also, all my social media will be in the description box for you guys to go check out: Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. So don't forget to hit those up also, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Protege Facebook page, which I'll link in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next segment.